All right, I think we're going to get started with this webinar. So yeah, thank you everybody who has attended. Today we are going to be talking about the 2022 camping trends and challenges. So I actually just have a poll for everybody. I am going to start right off the start here, and feel free to answer it as I am just kind of going over the agenda and doing some preliminary talking here. So just launched that poll, so feel free to go ahead and answer that. So let me just introduce myself. My name is Mike Yasniuk, and I am the CEO of Let's Camp. And yeah, Let's Camp has been around now for about 8 years, helping campgrounds take online bookings. Over the last couple of years, we have rebuilt our software and transformed our software into an online marketplace. So now, as well as helping campgrounds take online bookings, we now have a marketplace to help market the campgrounds who use our system and give campers a place to come and find a new campground to camp at and book at. So in this webinar, we put together 6 different trends and challenges that we've identified by talking with over 50,000 campers who've used our platform over the past couple seasons, and just talking with a couple hundred campgrounds, both clients and people we've reached out to kind of find out what are their challenges and what are the trends that they're seeing as well. So we've gathered this data through all of that conversation. So yeah, let's just dive in here. In a minute here, I'll just close the poll. So I think we have just about everybody who responded. So we'll give maybe 30 more seconds here for you to finish up that poll before we list the top 6 trends and challenges here. Oh, and just one more thing, there is a Q&A section on the webinar here, so feel free to submit your questions at any time. We'll be watching those and trying to answer them as we go here. All right, looks like everybody's answered, so we'll just end that poll. Thank you very much. Okay, so 2022 trends and challenges, what are they? Okay. First, campers can't find available campsites. Private campgrounds are overlooked. New campgrounds means more competition. New campers means changing expectations. Campers are overwhelmed with booking platforms. And last, campground owners can be overwhelmed when choosing software. Those are the trends and challenges we've identified. I'm just going to dive into each one of these so that we can learn more about how we identified it, what is the challenge, and what can you do as a campground manager about it. Okay, first one here. Campers can't find available campsites. So over the last few years, we've seen a huge increase in the amount of people getting out in camping. So camping is trending. I think just with people not being able to travel as far over the last couple of years, there's more people staying closer to home and they're choosing camping as their vacation of choice. Also, we're seeing an increase in population. This is just in general across North America. We continue to grow. So with more people means our campgrounds need to service more people. There's also issues with people booking multiple campsites and then either no showing or canceling. This can be due to poor cancellation policies or different things like that. And we're also seeing electronic bots booking up spaces when campgrounds open up, just kind of taking up those popular spots and spaces. And this is a problem because there's less sites available for campers and they aren't able to find a spot to book at. And lastly, campers only think about booking national and provincial or state parks. These are the ones that people know about most. They want to go to those popular places like Banff and Shuswaps and just different places like that. So these are challenges because campers don't know about everything that is available. So what can we do about it? Well, we can help maximize the number of spots available at your campground. So if you manage a campground, one suggestion we have to you to do this would be to stagger your booking start times. So we have a few campgrounds on our platform that have different start dates and times for different campers who are staying different lengths of time. So campgrounds can open up their booking, say March 1st, for people who are booking 30 nights or longer. Maybe in 2 weeks, they can then open it up for people booking 2 weeks or longer. And then say April 1st, open it up for anybody booking 1 night or more. This helps you maximize your campsites in regards to somebody booking maybe 1 or 2 nights on a weekend or in the middle of the week. That can prevent people from booking their long-term stays if someone's booked in the middle of a week there. Also, another way to maximize usage would be to not guarantee a specific site so that you are able to move campers around. This helps you optimize your availability calendar and move people around to get more people in as they're booking. You've probably seen features on some online booking systems called Site Lock. There is an option for you to be able to have a camper pay more to lock in which site they're staying at. So this is a good way for you to make more revenue as well as maximize your availability calendar. And just make sure that all your guests are getting reminder emails about their upcoming trip. This reduces the chance of no-shows and just reminds them that it's coming up and they need to get ready for it. Or if they need to cancel, it will remind them to cancel ahead of time versus just not showing up at all. That gives you the opportunity to get somebody in your campground. So let's just look at trend number 2. As we mentioned, private campgrounds are being overlooked. So as you know, most people know about the popular spots, but often, regional, private, municipal campgrounds get overlooked because people just can't find information about that campground. They Google campgrounds and they're not getting found, so they're just not sure what else there is available to book. Also, with smaller campgrounds, campers can overlook these because they're unsure of what types of expectations there are at a campground that is a private campground. At a national or provincial park, they often kind of know about what to expect, maybe because they've camped there before, so you might be a little bit hesitant to book a private place if they haven't been there before. And then people can't find private campgrounds from regional or municipal because they just don't have the resources the large campgrounds do for marketing themselves. So there's just a lack of marketing, getting your campground online and found online. So what can we do about this trend and challenge? First of all, there's something called SEO or local SEO, which is search engine optimization. So you want to get your campground found when people are searching online for a campground in your area. There's different SEO techniques that can be used to help you get found. A few great things to do to enhance your ability to get found would be to create and optimize your Google business listing. So every business can have a listing on Google for free. There's no cost to it. You can set it up. People can find out, when you're open and all that kind of good stuff. You can also list your campground on other sites such as Yelp or TripAdvisor. Lots of people use those sites to find places to go, and also using your social media to help promote your campground as well. And the second way is just photos, just like it says there. Provide great photos of your campground and campsites so people know what to expect when they arrive at your campground. On our platform, you get a beautiful profile page where you can showcase different pictures of your park. And then when people are booking in, they really want to see those photos of each of the sites that they're staying at. They can't see a picture of the site they're staying in. They're hesitant to book it because they're not sure what they're getting into. So it's super important to take photos of your camp sites and post them online on your platform to showcase them. Also, make it easy to find key information like your rates, how to book, and what to expect while they're at your campground. These are all things that can be added to your Google business profile, or if you have a website, make sure all of that stuff is clear there. And then one other thing that's not on this list is just if you're part of an online marketplace like Let's Camp, this also lists your campground in front of, maybe tens of thousands of people who are looking to camp. They go to our platform and they just search for a campground in an area. You're there, they'll find you. If you have great photos, book in and stay at your campground. Okay, just want to remind anybody, any questions along the way, feel free to pop them in the Q&A section. I'll be happy to answer them as we go here. So moving on. New campgrounds means more competition. So as we talked about earlier, there's an increased demand for camping, and people are wanting to capitalize on this by creating new campgrounds. This might be happening in your area where you see potentially new glamping sites pop up or new campgrounds popping up. So this is a trend. So more campgrounds are popping up, which means more competition to your campground. There will be a leveling out, I would assume, in the next couple of years here. Obviously, we've seen high spikes of camping, but as that levels out, it might be harder to fill your campground because there are more options for campers. Also, with these other options, expectations that campers have of your campgrounds in regards to customer service and amenities might change. So what can we do about more competition than new campgrounds? Just make sure you're doing some competitive research at the beginning of each year. Find out what new campgrounds are popping up in your area. Find out what their prices are, what their sites look like, what amenities do they have, and what sets them apart. This will help you make sure that you're promoting your campground in a positive way as well. Survey your campers. Your campers are your greatest resource of information. When they're there, just ask them, questions like, why did they choose to stay at your park? What do they like about their park? And then you can use these things in your advertising to other campers to help attract new campers to your campground. And if you aren't already, make sure you're asking your customers for reviews. This just helps build trust for your campground. So with your Google business listing or Yelp listing or TripAdvisor listing, send people there after their stay, and then you'll be able to gather those reviews and build trust for your campground. And this also helps stuff like SEO, so getting found on search engines. The more reviews you have, the better it is to get found when people are searching for campgrounds in your area as well. All right, next, new campers means changing expectations. We kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, but as there are more people camping, they're looking for different ways of camping, different types of camping. These are people who are used to staying potentially in like a hotel or Airbnb, so when they go camping, they're maybe looking for different things. More and more campers that we talk to are looking for options like glamping, having Wi-Fi at the campground. Obviously, showers is super important. Full service sites, etc. There's lots of amenities that people are identifying as that they want when they're camping. So they're wanting more of these amenities while they're out and about. With these extra amenities, though, if you are able to provide them, you are usually able to charge higher prices for the sites that you are booking out. So Thankfully, if you are providing these, you'll also be able to make more money to cover the cost for some of those extra amenities. And that just gets right in, what is the solution to this? As we talked about earlier, just talk to your campers and understand them, find out what do they value in camping, in their camping experience. And there's many different ways of camping, so you're not going to please everybody. Be good at kind of what you do and specialize in that. And then prioritize the requested upgrades. Obviously, not everything can be done at once, so choose the things that people are asking for most and kind of start there. And just remember, raising your prices means you do get to and have to provide better and more value to your customers. So people are getting more value per dollar for their bookings when you're offering more amenities. These amenities will bring more people to your campground. All right, next. Campers are overwhelmed with how to book a site. Yeah, with all the new online booking systems available and the different systems used by the national parks and provincial parks, there's just a lot of different ways people can book their camping. And with, everybody, is familiar with the national and provincial park systems, and even to some of the more popular parks, it's really important to, get online the very first day, the very first hour that campground bookings open, so you can get that spot. There's a lot of pressure in this, because if you don't get your spot, that could mean the end of your vacation or your hopes for a good vacation. I know my family and I were trying to book a spot at Tuttle Mountain in Banff. A couple of years ago, we wanted to go for 2 weeks, and how their system works is they have a large queuing system. So when their bookings open, I think it was like a Monday at 8 a.m. one week, you basically have to go online and they put you into a queue. But one thing you can do to kind of help your chances of getting randomly selected is to set up, different devices with the internet on that site, so that you have opportunity to get in the queue. I think between my wife and I, we had 7 or 8 different devices, and we're able to get our spot. But yeah, it's just stressful. There's that pressure to book that spot. If you don't get it, it can be frustrating for campers. Also, with all the different ways to book camping, it can just be overwhelming because the processes are all different. And I'm not just talking about online booking. With the increase of online booking, most people expect that, but there's still many campgrounds taking bookings by phone and email, or just filling out a web form. So it's sometimes hard for campers to figure out how they can book and when they can book and stuff like that. And not everyone's super tech savvy or has the option to take time off to book a site when bookings open. So campers get overwhelmed. Sometimes they have to take time off because, this campground they want to book at, they're opening for bookings at, 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. Usually that's, they're at work, but they need to book their campsite, so they have to take some time off to do that. So what can we do to help campers be less overwhelmed? Well, first of all, highly recommended to take online bookings. Nobody likes having to call or email to reserve, just because there's no immediate acknowledgement that you've booked, and this can be stressful and overwhelming to a camper. If I have to email somebody and wait for a response back to know if I got that spot, that's going to be stressful, because I don't even know. I might email multiple people and then take the first one that somebody gets back to me. Also, provide campers with clear instructions on how to book at your campsite. So use your website and your Google business profile, any thing that you have, to be clear on how to book at your campground. Place that book now button in a prominent spot on your website. So if you are using online software, they can easily find that and click to book at your campground. And just make sure there's instructions on how to book once they do click that button as well. Oftentimes it's fairly self-explanatory, but sometimes it's super helpful, especially if you're less tech savvy, to have a quick how to book page on your site. We look at a lot of campground websites, and it's just shocking how many miss out on having a clear book now button or instructions on how to book on their site. A couple other things I would recommend here to help campers not be overwhelmed would just be to set an open date and time that's not inconvenient to people. So one thing I would recommend is doing it at like say 7 a.m. on a weekend or even a weekday is better than doing it at like 9 a.m. on a weekday. Once you have it during working hours, you're going to have less people being able to go online and book if they're working when you're opening up for your bookings for the year. And then just make sure you're communicating with your campers. If you have emails from your campers, make sure you're communicating with them to when you are going to be opening up your bookings for next season. With software like Let's Camp, there's automatic processes that you can use and set up to remind people that, hey, my bookings are, anybody who's booked last year will get an automatic message that says, hey, we're opening up our bookings this year for March 1st at 8 a.m. Make sure you're there. So it just reminds everybody who's already there without you having to do any extra work to get that done. All right, last but not least, number 6 is campgrounds are overwhelmed with all the many booking software options. So there's definitely a lot more competition when it comes to online booking software options and taking online reservations. Of course, we do highly recommend taking online bookings if you don't already. The traditional route is an option to take bookings, phone and email, but it definitely takes more time for you to manage these bookings, and it's also more stressful and overwhelming for your campers to do so. And if you're not using online software or like Let's Camp, you might not be listed on a website like that, and then people won't even potentially won't even know about your campground. So it's kind of like having a spot in the yellow pages by being listed on a marketplace like ours. Some booking systems also can have a lot of different features, and that can be tough for campgrounds to kind of look at, and it can be overwhelming. There can be hidden or extra fees with some software, online software, so make sure you're looking for those, and that can be stressful as well. There could be extra fees for customer service or just additional features. Maybe not everything's included kind of in the base cost. So there's definitely pros and cons of each type of software that you need to look at, and it takes some time to kind of get to know each one. Also, the software company might not be transparent about who owns your camper data or customer data. You as a campground owner should own that data and have access to it, not just because that's practical, but also because if you ever want to switch systems, you want to have access to that data so you can take that and implement it on your system. So with all of these options, what are some of the things you can do about it? First of all, I just recommend just to understand your goals and consider your priorities. Like what is most important to you as a campground? Are you looking to maximize your revenue with an online booking system, or maybe you're just looking for a better booking experience for your campgrounds? Or as most people say, they're just looking for something to make their lives easier. Often campground managers or employees can spend days or even weeks taking bookings at the beginning of the season, and online software can eliminate that for you. Also consider all the costs. So just understand what's involved with the software that you're choosing. So this isn't just the monetary cost of setting up the software or the cost or monthly payment to use it, but it would be the effort that you have to put into switching from what you're doing now to going to online. So that time is valuable as well. So make sure that when you're choosing a software that it's a simple setup process. Also, what's the cost to you or your campers if there's a booking fee attached? Is that booking fee fair? Make sure you understand all those costs. And is choosing a local company important to you? Is having a local support team that's easy to contact, is that helpful, or will that be helpful for you as well? So just things to consider when you're looking at the different software options out there. All right, so those are the main 6 challenges throughout this webinar. We've been talking about the importance of going online. Obviously, Let's Camp is an online booking system. You signed up with us, so we're going to take a little bit of time to kind of tell you a little bit about how our software works and can help you overcome some of these challenges. So first of all, that online booking system, like I just mentioned, is going to help you save time and headaches of taking those bookings. You know, employees and managers spend hours, even daily, depending on the time of season, on the phone and in their office. Having that online booking system can get you out of their office and into the campground, talking to your campgrounds to learn more about them and what they want at your campground. Our system is super easy to set up. We can get you set up in just a day or two. It doesn't take weeks. All we need is your main contact information in a map, and our team can get you set up and your onboarding session booked within a day or two of getting signed up. That onboarding session doesn't take long either. It's usually only about an hour, so super simple to get set up with us and get going to take online reservations. Online systems also help you make it easier for your team. Having an online system helps reduce the amount of staff that you need to take bookings. Also, using an easy-to-use system like Let's Camp will help you train your staff. If it's easy to use, if the online system is easy to use, when new staff come on board, it's super easy to train them and get new staff on there and helping you out. Also, our system is completely free to campgrounds to use. So we don't charge the campgrounds anything to use Let's Camp. We just simply charge a booking fee that the camper pays when they book online. So there's no cost or commitment to you to getting set up and taking online bookings with our system. So no setup fee, no monthly fee. The only fees that there are the credit card processing fees that you would pay for processing any credit card on any system. So yeah, that is all we have for you today. I will just maybe open it up for any questions. So if there are any questions that you've thought of, maybe about our software, or if there's any comments that you want to make about any trends or challenges that you're seeing at your campground or saw at your campground this year, we'd love to hear that in the chat. So make sure you throw that in there as well. And yeah, we will make sure we follow up with all of you who are here today. There will be a recording of this as well available if you did miss some of it and need to come back and watch it later. So yeah, thanks again for your time. I'm really thankful that you joined us today. And if you're looking for an online solution for your campground, make sure to check out join.letscamp.ca. You'll find all the information about our online booking solution, and you can also book a demo with us as well if you want to see more about how it works and how easy it is for you to get started with online bookings. So yeah, any questions, we'll leave this open for a couple minutes and answer that, and then we will just close out this webinar. So thanks again for attending. Feel free to call or email with any questions that you might have as well after this is done.